I feel like this is not the prime time to film because it is storming outside. I'm sitting right in front of the window. Also, I know the bed is always a mess. We're just gonna have to live with that. But I like the consistency of starting vlogs here. I think this is a fun spot. But hello everybody, welcome back to the vlog channel. Today is actually a very exciting day for me. Probably not as much for you. But today is my birthday and I wanted to vlog it because I thought it would be fun. Leah and Ryan have taken the day off today, as have I, and we are going to go on a little adventure. And I don't know, we're doing a lot of fun Vegas-y things, so I thought I would bring you along. I am 34 today, which I feel in my heart like I'm still 13, but I'm starting to realize that you just never feel older. Today we are going on a little adventure. By the way, I didn't even paint my nails. I had plans for an exciting manicure to do for today that was themed, but I ended up sleeping in super late, so I didn't have time to do it, and now I'm about to go. But yeah, so basically here is the plan that we're gonna do today. I am a Summerween fan, meaning Halloween in the summer. So we're actually going to do a bunch of kind of horror slash Halloween-y themed things. First, we're going to go, I think I mentioned it in a vlog recently, but there's this place, Horror Vibes Coffee, that does like horror themed coffee, and we're gonna go there first because we need to be caffeinated. Clearly I'm not caffeinated enough. Hold on, my phone's blowing up. That was Leah saying she's on her way. We're doing that first, then we're going to go downtown, which I've previously said in vlogs that I do not like Las Vegas downtown area. However, I do want to let you know, when I say that, I mean like the very touristy Fremont Street experience area I'm not a fan of, because that's pretty much, I mean, it's good if you're visiting, you should definitely check it out because there's some cool sites there, but I feel like it's very much drinking and gambling and like kind of Sin City vibes, which I'm not really into most of that stuff. So we're actually going to be going to the Arts District. There's some fun stuff around there. We might go to a thrift store. There's a bookstore that we've been wanting to go to real bad, so we're gonna check that out. And then for dinner, we're actually gonna go to a horror themed pizza shop, and they do have non-dairy cheese, so I'm very excited about that. I'm not fully ready right now. I'm gonna put on like a bunch of my rings and stuff. Since it's raining, I'm not 100% sure what I want to wear. I'm wearing right now a little like t-shirt dress, and then I have fishnets, and I was gonna wear little combat boots with it, and I was gonna wear, you know, that little kimono thing that I have that's like the sun and the moon and the stars. I was gonna do that, but now that it's all rainy, I'm not sure if I should wear something with a hood. I do have a dress like this that's hooded, but it's not as like form-fitting, so I kind of have to decide, but I'll show you a full fit check once that all happens. I thought it would be fun. I actually did therapy this morning with my therapist because I'm a mature adult. We were talking about like me just looking back at my 34 years and lessons that I've learned and stuff, and I thought it would be fun to chat that through with you guys, just like things that I've learned that I wish I knew earlier in life, but I'm glad that I know them now. Probably not going to do that today because I think today is just going to be like a full day of activities, but maybe tomorrow I will sit down and we can talk about, you know, my thoughts on being 34 and my feelings on how I've grown and changed. And honestly, I feel like I've changed a lot in the last year specifically, so maybe we can touch a little bit on that. But yeah, why don't you come along for the little birthday adventure? I'm very excited. I actually just put on some new lashes. They're like huge. They don't look huge on camera because they're small, but they're long. I usually trim them, but yeah, I will bring you along, so yeah, join me. There's Leah. Okay, we are in the car.
We're in one of those self-driving cars.
We're not in a self-driving car.
Nobody's in the driver's seat.
Ryan is driving.
She claims that Ryan is driving.
We're at Horror Vibes Coffee, and we're gonna get some coffee, and then we're gonna have to get some lunch as well. There's a spot right there.
Abs!
Oh, do you want to do that again for the vlog?
Sorry, was that? We're gonna get some vibes! Okay, I'm done.
We are not supposed to be here. I didn't realize until now.
Next stop, Writer's Block. This is a bookstore. We got Leah on the track, and Ryan's behind me. He does exist. We're gonna go to the bookstore.
I can tell the difference in their faces. Monsters come in different shapes and sizes. Small voices singing, set me free. Set me free.
art pieces. They're like minimum $40 each. Look at this fish. I want it badly, but Leah and Ryan are judging me. Ryan said he would consider getting this guy. The artist is Bosch. Love the vibe. Okay, we didn't get anything at the bookstore, although I really wanted those art pieces, but Ryan and Leah wouldn't let me get them. And now we are further in the arts district.
We're not going to allow it.
I think we're gonna go to Buffalo Exchange and just look around there. That is a thrift store.
But I'm too shy.
She's so tiny.
She's so tiny. There's a little fairy.
I just thrifted successfully for the first time in my life. I have purchased something at a thrift store before, but I've never purchased something used. And today I did buy that. It was a Karl Lagerfeld dress. And I also bought this ring that is a clock because it's pink and it's cute.
And I bought this finger. How freaking cool. It's like a steampunk finger.
And I'm sweating. I tried on a few things. I'm
really proud of you.
Yeah.
And I'm proud you bought something. I think this showed Kelly that if you go to like nice thrift stores at like Buffalo Exchange where they curate the fashion, they buy the fashion, you can get designer stuff super cheap, and most of the time when people buy designer, they like don't even wear it that much. So like it looked brand new.
Yeah, and it was
brand
so
new.
cheap. What was it? 18?
Yeah, I was gonna say
$18.
20, but yeah, it wasn't even $20.
Yeah, it was a very good deal. And not to say I don't approve of thrifting, obviously it's great for the environment.
It's
but
hard though sometimes
I'm a
to think
germaphobe.
about
Yeah,
other people
so I get a
wearing
little
their
nervous
clothes.
about used clothing. But I'm excited. Leah's teaching me the way. And also, look at the sky right now. It got so nice out. It's stunning.
Yeah, can you believe it was pouring a few hours ago?
Okay.
I keep getting compliments on this shirt. Kelly also complimented this shirt.
Yeah.
She's like, what is this? I got this for like $10 at the Family. No, $5 at the Family Dollar because it had a pair of shorts.
This is
$10
actually
total.
very cute. Yeah.
It's cute, right?
I like it. So sliced pizza, kind of a fail. I don't want to pass
Kind of.
I don't want to pass judgment because we did not eat there.
We don't know how the food was.
We don't know how the food
They didn't
was.
have any.
They did not have any. They offered Ryan a slice that looked like it's been out all day, and it wasn't like in a warmer or anything, so it was just out. And Ryan asked for a whole pie, and he was like, well, you could just have a slice of this one that was old.
That man did not want, he does not care if his business
Leah and I
fails.
spent like 10 minutes deciding that we wanted to split a vegan cheese pie, and then he like kept on being like, okay, and then we were like talking about what toppings we wanted, and he was like, oh my god, that's a cute dog. And then we finally were like, okay, so we'll get half this topping, and the guy was like, okay, hold on 1 second, and then he went in the back and he was like, I actually don't have enough cheese for pizza. And we were like, okay. And then he was like, so, and I was like, well, what do you have? And he was just like, well, we have these slices.
We've got this one slice
It was
here.
2 slices of old pizza. And I'm like, there's 3 of us.
Also, another thing that I noticed was that like when you go up to the counter where the pizza was, there were 3 menus sitting out there and they were covered in dust.
Yeah, Leah was like, I'm waiting for Kelly to veto this place because it's kind of...
Because it's too dirty.
It's kind of dirty.
Like she wasn't saying anything and I wasn't going to be
I'm a thrifter now. What am I going to do?
It's your birthday. You're a thrifter now. Yeah, Kelly like walked outside for a second and I turned to Ryan and who's not real. I just said to myself, I'm really waiting for Kelly to not want to eat here.
But yeah, no. So we're gonna head back to. I was gonna say head back to New Jersey. We're gonna
head back to
we're not. We're gonna head back to the house now. And honestly, I could go for Taco Bell, but I don't know if the team is gonna be on board with it. Leah seems to be on board with it. We'll see what Ryan thinks when I turn off the camera. But yeah, I will keep you updated. It has been a lovely birthday. I actually forgot to show you, but we just sat outside and ate Taco Bell, and oh my god.
I'm sorry, you finished. I won't be here.
No, join me. Sit with me.
I'm just in a weird mood.
So we're actually going to finish out the night. Did I say we went to Taco Bell? I didn't film it at all.
No.
We went to Taco Bell. We just sat outside and ate it. It was absolutely phenomenal. Glad we didn't get the pizza. Ryan is...
He's really upset.
He's really upset
about the pizza.
about the pizza place.
Honestly, I'm also really upset about the pizza place.
Yeah, that's actually wild because I've seen so many like TikToks and stuff of people being like, this is the best place ever, but it's so sketch.
I don't think
know.
they've cleaned it ever.
Yeah, it was very dusty in there. There was no air conditioning, so it was also really hot.
And there was one slice of pizza to choose from.
There's two. And the guy did not want to make Ryan a new pizza. He was like, you can just eat those 2 slices. But anyway, I took off my rings because I get messy when I eat Taco Bell. But yeah, we're going to finish out the night by watching Nosferatu, the new one, because I believe it's on HBO. And then I will catch up with you tomorrow. I want to talk about like my things I've learned in my 34 years, but do you have any words?
I do remember you did tell them that we were getting Taco Bell, because now I remember I was like, you were like, I don't know if Leo wants Taco Bell, and I was like,
yeah,
dancing. So yeah, they knew. That's all I have to say. You guys are awesome. Keep shining and being cool.
Hello guys, it's actually been a week since my birthday. I didn't end up vlogging for the rest of the week, but I wanted to come back and give you guys a little update on how the rest of the week went on my birth week. I enjoyed myself so much. I don't know if I said this, but we did end up going to Taco Bell for dinner on my birthday night, which I was 100% on board with. Taco Bell's delicious. And we watched Nosferatu, the new movie, and I was really excited about it. I like Nosferatu. I like vampire vibes. I heard it was gonna be like very kind of weird, but I have to say we did not enjoy it. None of us. I don't remember what I rated it, but I think I gave it like 3 out of 10 stars, so I was not a fan of that. However, this weekend, Ryan and I watched Goodfellas for the first time, and I love that movie. Oh my goodness. I feel like we've been on a kick lately where we're watching like a lot of mob movies, and so we also watched Casino with Robert De Niro, and I also loved that. I thought that was incredible. What other mob things have we been watching? We're watching Tokyo Vice right now, but I'm not as big of a fan of that. I feel like the Northeast tri-state area kind of vibes is like where I like it, and also like the Vegas vibes. That's just an aside. We've been on like this movie kick recently, so that's been really fun. Also, I have to say, the entire month of June I was reading the same books, and I finally finished both of them yesterday, one of which was Insomnia by Stephen King. I don't know if I talked about this in my last video, but I listened to the audiobook for that, which was I think 24 hours, and I would have listened to it so much faster if it didn't have music in it. I do not know whose creative decision that was to add music to an audiobook, but there were times where I genuinely just could not hear what the narrator was saying. Like, it was terrible at times, and it was honestly an unbearable audiobook. I really enjoyed the book, but I would not recommend the audiobook for anything. It was terrible. And then the other book I was reading was The Witcher prequel, The Last Wish. Kind of eager to get to the next book in that series, but I am gonna take a little break from fantasy for a bit. I just started a new book called These Violent Delights by Micah Nemerever, might be how do you pronounce his name? I'm not 100% sure, but it's a very interesting tale so far. It kind of reminds me of like Olivia Blake books, so definitely enjoy her as an author. But yeah, so that's my little update and my birthday experience, movies and books I'm watching. But let me get into the lessons. I kind of wrote these down because I didn't want to forget. So like I said, these are kind of basic, but I don't know, maybe they'll help you because they're things that I'm laying in bed at night and thinking like, you know what, XYZ thing. So here you go. Number 1 is you do not owe people an explanation for your choices. And before I get into this, obviously, let me say there are many, many exceptions to that rule. If you're buying a car, you should tell your spouse, that kind of stuff. But I'm saying like you do not owe strangers or acquaintances or family members or anything an explanation for the life choices that you make. And this is something that I was thinking about because every year during my birthday, I always get a little bit depressed. And I feel like that's because I haven't really taken a conventional route through life so far. And I feel like I've always been kind of judged for that. And for a lot of time, I felt like I wasn't hitting those milestones. And that made me feel really sad because I was like, I should be doing XYZ, but I'm not. And I guess I've been thinking about it recently, and I was just thinking, you know, I don't have to take those paths in life. Not everybody's path is the same. And 2, I don't really have to explain to people why I've chosen the path that I've chosen. One thing that I get a lot, I am child free. I've chosen not to have children. I'm never planning on having children. And I feel like a lot of times people act like that's some huge failing of myself. And sometimes I feel the need to justify it, but I really don't need to. I don't really owe anybody an explanation for that. That's just the decision that I've made. Although actually I do want to say, I was thinking I'd like to do a video talking about that more in depth because I think actually a decent amount of my followers are also child-free, and sometimes you guys struggle with the same things that I struggle with, which is people's judgment and questions. So maybe I can do a little explanation if you ever do want to explain things to people. Yeah, I don't know. I'd just be interested in sharing sharing a little bit more of that because I feel like there's not that much representation on the internet of people like really explaining their feelings on that. So maybe that's a vlog that I'll do sometime in the future. But what I'm saying is I don't really owe people an explanation. I've had people question me. I'm thinking about, I remember when I was in my 20s, I worked in an office and I remember I used to do rainbow makeup. One time the receptionist stopped me and she was like, why do you do that? You look so silly. Don't you ever feel like people are just judging you for that? And I remember at the time I was really embarrassed. I started going back to like wearing more neutral makeup to work. Thinking back on that, I'm like, why did I let her make that decision for me? That's really not up to her. And like, I don't really need to explain to her why I wanted to wear rainbow makeup. You know what I mean? So that's my lesson number one. So number two kind of plays off of that, which is not everybody has to like you. And this is a lesson that I know and I've always known in my head, but it's something that I have really, really struggled with until very recently. And it's something that I'm still kind of talking through in therapy. I feel like it's really hard for me, and I'm sure a lot of you, to grapple with the fact that there are people who just don't like the things that you do or don't like the decisions that you make, like what I'm saying about like being child-free or wearing rainbow makeup, that kind of stuff. And I feel like it's so draining to try to be a people pleaser all the time and always try to do things that make everybody happy. But the truth is, I'm never going to be able to make everybody happy. There are just people who are not going to like me. There's people on the internet a lot that don't like me, and that's totally fine. I feel like that was something that I struggled with a lot. I was always trying to like do stuff to make every single person happy, but the truth is not every single person is going to be happy with me at all times, and I just have to do my best and try my best to make myself happy and doing things that I personally feel are right. You know what I mean? I don't think I explained that one well, but I'm sure you guys know that one because it's kind of basic. It actually reminds me of a phrase that I've been picking up lately that I like to say, which is, what other people think of me is none of my business. I think that that kind of falls under all of this so far, which is just like, if somebody thinks I'm immature for having pink hair or for dressing in a certain way or for doing certain things, that's not my business. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody wants to think that of me, that's fine. I know in my heart that that's not who I am, or honestly, you know what? I am immature. Who cares? But like, if you don't like me or if you don't agree with my decisions because you feel that I'm XYZ and you just cannot like that, or if you're like, I don't think people should have pink hair or whatever, that's none of my business. You can think whatever you want. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that I feel like I've been starting to take on a little bit more, and I've been trying to do things that are more actively like making myself happy rather than trying to make myself smaller for other people. Which actually brings me to my next one, which is, if people don't like who you are naturally, you should not be changing who you are to fit what they want. I feel like this happens a lot in relationships, and it's happened to me in my past relationship where I felt like I was just trying to make myself smaller and more palatable for people in order to be liked and loved. And I think that it's a lot of times something that people feel when they're just either feeling that lack of love or feeling that craving for, you know, being accepted. But the thing is, you're never going to find your people if you do that. If you're changing yourself fundamentally in order to make people like you, you're never going to find the right people in your life. I don't want to get into specifics, but I used to, you know, try to put my personality kind of like on a damper to be a certain way for people. The thing was, I had friends, but they didn't like, sometimes I would get, you know, a little excited. I would act like my true self, and they didn't like that. So it was like I put myself in this position where I was stuck with people who didn't like me for who I was because I made myself into a different person for them. Now I'm unapologetically myself. I love what I do. I'm immature and loud and all that stuff. And I have found my people, and I love hanging out with them, people who let me be myself and who accept me for who I am. That's a big one for me that I've learned. And I think that that one was a little bit less recent, just something that I've picked up in the last few years, but it really has made such a difference in my life. I feel like I'm being so annoying right now. Oh gosh. Well, my next one is negative self-talk negatively affects your brain. So maybe I shouldn't say that. But yeah, I feel like this one is something that I still struggle with, but I'm trying to be better about. Clearly, I'm not doing a great job, which is me being negative again. Basically, what I'm saying is self-deprecating jokes are one thing, but constantly like putting yourself down or making yourself feel bad actually does really affect you. Like, imagine somebody else is saying that stuff to you. Like, you're being really annoying. Those kind of things like knock you down to the point where you don't feel great anymore. So why would you add to that by making yourself feel that way about you? You know what I mean? So I've been trying to be a little bit more positive and loving with myself, and I think that that really helps. You know, when I first dyed my hair, I was like, oh my gosh, I look silly. People are gonna judge me. And then I was like, you know what? Let me sit with this for a minute, because I have been wanting a change in my hair and my look for a little while now, and I always feel most myself when I have colorful hair. Why am I putting myself down for achieving something that I want? Like, yeah, I'm sure there are people who see me in the grocery store and they're like, oh my gosh, that woman in her 30s has pink hair. That's so mature of her. That's so dumb of her. But I'm not going to be thinking that about myself. I should be looking in the mirror and being like, yes, you did it. You got that pink hair. That's so cool. And I think that that's been a really good boost to my self-esteem, is just, you know, being very loving to myself. So that's something that I'm still working on. I'm not great at it yet, but I am trying my best. This one's actually interesting. I feel like this is kind of a controversial thought, but not everything has to be beautiful. It's almost like a problem in itself that we're always focusing on beauty. And I know this also happens with men and non-binary people and everything, but being a woman, this is just my lived experience, that there's always an emphasis on women being beautiful. To me, I'm thinking, why do I have to be beautiful in order to exist as a woman? Can't I just exist? I don't have to be gorgeous. You know what I mean? I keep saying you know what I mean, and it's annoying me, if you know what I mean. Like, that's something that I think about a lot. It's a controversial statement, and I'm sure people are going to disagree with me on that, but that's just something that I have been feeling lately. And I know if you're thinking like, well, this is kind of hypocritical of you because you do like beauty content or beauty adjacent content. I think that what I do on the internet is creative self-expression more than it is beauty. Yes, I describe nail polishes as beautiful or eyeshadows as beautiful, but what I'm doing is trying to express myself creatively. I'm not trying to be beautiful so that people think I'm beautiful. I'm trying to express on the outside how I feel on the inside. And then I guess the last thing is just to remember that social media isn't always real. I know this is obvious, but one big part of it is that other people's success don't take away from your success. And I think this is something that I also used to feel a lot. I feel like it's almost like inherent for us to feel a little bit of jealousy when we see certain things. But like I said, a lot of things on social media aren't real, or they're highlight reels. It's just the best of the best. I know for myself, I tend to share the best of the best on the internet. I feel like I'm always acting chipper and fun. You know, obviously I've shared some negative things on the internet too, but for the most part, there are a lot of things that I don't share on the internet that are, you know, just really difficult things that I've gone through. I've had a lot of people comment before and be like, oh my gosh, you have such an easy life. You have such a perfect life. And that's definitely not true. But by that same measure, you know, if somebody is successful in something, that's wonderful for them, and maybe your gut instinct is to potentially feel that jealousy, but it doesn't make you less likely to have that level of success. And the same goes for like social media or anything you see. If somebody has something, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get that thing. There's also probably exceptions to that one as well, but yeah, sometimes I think like I see somebody doing something that I'm like, oh, I wish that could be me, but then I'm like, that shouldn't be my thought. My thought process should be, that's really cool that that person gets to do that thing. I would like to strive towards that. So basically what I'm saying is like, there's not one plane ticket in the world that only one person gets to go on vacation. Their success or their achievements do not take away from your own. And yeah, there's exceptions because maybe somebody got a promotion that you maybe were expecting or hoping to get, but that doesn't mean that you don't have any more opportunities. You know, if there is something like that happening at your workplace, maybe that's a sign for you to seek opportunities elsewhere and see what else is out there. Maybe it means that there's an opportunity for you to move elsewhere within the same company. I feel like at the risk of sounding negative, I feel like I am preaching a little bit of things that I am not perfect about, but I think what I want to do in sharing this is kind of talk through, well, one, a lot of things that I'm kind of learning in therapy, and two, remind myself and hopefully you guys that this is, you know, some of the things that we should be doing. Perfection does not exist. I am not perfect, and I definitely do a lot of these things wrong, but you know, something that I'm striving towards. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the library because Leah and I go to the library every week. But thank you all for joining me on my little birthday vlog, and I hope you enjoyed the little adventure, my adventures through Vegas, and also my very self-righteous life lessons. And I hope you all have a wonderful day or night. I will be back to paint this wall, which I definitely have to do very soon. And I will be doing eventually. Oh, I also got this amazing artwork for downstairs, but I'm gonna save it for the next vlog, so stay tuned. We're getting into the vlogging, baby. We're gonna do it. Okay, I love you all, and I'll see you all later. Bye!